Am I the a-hole for refusing to sleep on the floor in our Airbnb? I am a 21-year-old male going on a trip with two friends, a 19-year-old male and a 19-year-old female. We all get along well, and we found a nice, inexpensive Airbnb in a quiet area. The Airbnb has one single sofa bed and one double bed. After we booked it, the girl suddenly suggested that we rotate who sleeps on the sofa bed and the double bed, which seemed fair to me at first. But then she said she would not share the double bed with another guy because of a past experience that affected her. I told her I understood, but that means my friend and I would have to take turns sleeping on the floor since there are only two sleeping spots. I suggested she stay on the sofa bed instead, but she refused, saying she has back problems. Now it feels like she expects my friend and me to alternate between the sofa and the floor while she always gets the double bed. I do not think that is fair, but she insists on her arrangement. Am I the jerk for refusing to sleep on the floor? Note, English is not my first language, so this post has been translated. Not the a-hole. I respect that she does not feel comfortable sharing with a guy, but she should have disclosed all this before agreeing to book the place to ensure everyone had comfortable sleeping arrangements. Am I the a-hole for canceling my mother's wanted plans for my birthday? I, 20-year-old female, am turning 21 this May. My relationship with my mother has always been strained because she tends to dismiss my feelings and manipulate me. In January, she asked me to visit her in Las Vegas for her birthday, but I did not want to go since I was forced to be there for 5 years before I turned 18. I have a habit of telling her what she wants to hear to avoid conflict, so I initially agreed, even though I did not want to go. Later, I realized I could not afford the trip, so I told her I would visit for my birthday instead. A few days ago, I told her I changed my mind and wanted to go to Universal Studios with her and the family instead. I offered to pay for her flight and anything else she needed, but she called me selfish and got upset. She has been pressuring me to visit Las Vegas for years, and I have always given in. This time, I stood up for myself, which led to her texting me. I do not know who told you it was okay to be disrespectful. You do whatever you want for your birthday. I do not care. I am done. I responded while at work, explaining my decision to change plans and how I felt hurt by her calling me selfish when I was trying to compromise. She responded by saying she would not communicate via text, calling me disrespectful and accusing me of treating her poorly. She later complained to my aunt and hung up on her when my aunt did not agree with her. I have been thinking about it and wondering if I was wrong for changing my mind. Am I the a-hole for canceling plans she wanted for my own birthday, especially when this is the first time I am doing what I want? Am I the a-hole for spending money saved for an engagement ring on a tattoo? A bit more than a month ago, my now ex broke up with me out of the blue. I do not want to go into the details of the relationship or the breakup, but we had been talking about marriage before the breakup. We had settled on the wedding bands and an engagement ring. I am by no means well off and arguably live paycheck to paycheck, but I manage to always pay my bills, save money, and budget money for fun concerts, fancy dinners, trips to Renaissance fairs, conventions, rallies, random events, etc. While still doing all this, I managed to put aside several thousand for the engagement ring she wanted. After the breakup, I decided to spend that money on myself. I bought myself my favorite bourbon, a case of my favorite cigars, and finally finished a large tattoo sleeve I have been having worked on for 2 years. The issue came when I started casually seeing a young woman. Let us call her Dee. I knew Dee before I met my ex, but we were more acquaintances than anything else just due to life stuff. And honestly, because I only had eyes for my now ex from the moment I first met her. But we knew enough about each other that she was familiar with the fact that I am not one to just casually throw money around. Since this money was not budgeted for anything, well, not since the breakup, and let us be honest, I am heartbroken, I have been a lot more willing to just say, forget it, and spend money. Tonight I met Dee for dinner and drinks, and during the drinks part of the evening, she noticed my fresh ink and jokingly asked me if I had gotten promoted or hit the lottery. When I explained to her where this money had come from, she got real serious and told me that spending it like that was disrespectful. That I had saved that money for something beautiful, and by wasting it, it proves I never cared about my ex. D ended up leaving me at the bar, where I am currently typing this up, because she was upset with me. Maybe it is the fantastic cocktails blurring my judgment, but am I the a-hole for spending my money? Oh my gosh, no, not the a-hole. Dear is clearly bat crap crazy. It is your money, darling, go to Disney and fly first class if you like. Now, that being said, if you are broke and barely surviving, maybe use most of it for life. But yes, go have some fun and spend it on whatever you want. Am I the a-hole for forcing my in-laws into a smaller space for their larger family? So this story is my family. Husband, me, 2-year-old and his brother's family, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, and 3 teenagers, 18, 16, 13. So we are at Disney this week. We arrived today with our camper and rented another one from the resort. When we got here for check-in, we were told the other camper was set up, got the keys, and was shown some features. It was small, I think 25 feet, with the only privacy being the master bed. There is a bunk, and the dining table folds into a bed. We set up our camper, 40 feet toy hauler, and I am in the middle of putting out linens, opening up the back porch for my toddler to play, and getting his space set up sleeps in the garage area when the in-laws roll up. We all greet and my husband shows them their camper. Immediately they start down the "this is not big enough. We are going to have issues. We really do not like this" comments. Now we paid for the camper rental, the spots, the tickets into the park, and for some upcoming dinners they wanted reserved. My husband goes into a panic and they walk into our camper and say, "Let's just stay here and you guys take the little one." I said no, that was not going to work because our bed in the master is specifically for my back. They went on about how they cannot afford Disney, and it is really disappointing that all we rented was a small trailer for all of them to fit into without regard to their comfort. I came back with, "It is only for sleep for your family." I do not know if my son is going to be overwhelmed, and having a familiar space for him to play and relax from the noises and crowds is why we brought ours, and they stormed out calling me a jerk and asking my husband why he married me. He came back to me with the fact that we do not need all of the rooms since it is just 3 of us and they have 5 and all are basically adults. So I asked a simple question. Then I get access while you guys are at Disney to be in here and relax. Ours has a television and a porch with barriers for the toddler to play outside in an enclosed area. Also, his toys are in here, and they said it is their private area, so no. So I said no again. My husband called me a jerk and said our son can survive a week without toys and the porch area, etc. Am I the jerk because I do not want to sacrifice my own comfort to appease them, especially since we have paid for this entire trip? The only part they had to pay for was to get here, and they flew, with some assistance from my husband cause I threw a fit about that. Am I the jerk? Not the a-hole, and I am horrified at how your husband is treating you, let alone your in-laws. You put out literally thousands of dollars for their happiness. I would not even know how to accept a gift of this magnitude. I would be crying in thanks. Please get into counseling when you get home. Individual for sure and marital if you can make your husband go. He treats you terribly and I am so sorry. Am I the a-hole for not donating to a coworker's fundraiser? So, this has been weighing on me because now work feels weird, and I do not know if I handled it wrong. One of my coworkers, Sarah, is raising money for her dog's surgery. I totally get it. She's devastated, and I feel for her. She set up a GoFundMe and has been going around the office asking people to donate. Here's where the problem started. I did not donate. Not because I do not care, but because I literally cannot afford to. I have had some unexpected medical bills and car repairs, and I am barely keeping up with rent. I also have my own pet who needs regular care, so I cannot justify spending money I do not have, even for a good cause. Sarah never asked me directly, but other coworkers did. When I said I could not right now, they just went, "Oh, okay." But the vibe shifted. Then, a couple of days later, I heard Sarah venting to another coworker in the break room, saying, "It is just disappointing when some people act like they care but cannot even chip in $10. I guess their morning lattes are more important." And yeah, I buy coffee most mornings, because it is, part of my budget. But now I feel like I am being judged for not skipping a coffee to donate. It got worse. Someone put up a donation tally in the break room, listing how much everyone contributed. My name was the only one missing. Another coworker joked, "Oof, harsh," when they saw it, and now I feel super awkward every time I walk into the kitchen. I thought about donating something just to make the tension go away, but honestly, the pettiness is making me not want to. Still, I do not want to be the office villain over this. So, am I the a-hole for not donating? Or should I have just thrown in a few dollars to avoid the drama? Trying to hit up one's coworkers for money, even for a worthy cause, and then guilt-tripping them, and then venting about them, and then trying to shame them publicly is way over the line. Does your business not have supervisors or human resources or some sort of code of professional conduct? Sarah is the a-hole here. You owe her nothing, including an explanation. Not the a-hole.